Welcome back, everybody. Before we start off game number 3 for today in BDS and Ence, I know everybody's waiting for it. We wanted to kind of talk about the up-and-comers. We had a quick conversation about it with Wild and BDS, the up-and-comers and the ones that are actually making it into the league. That's Wild and Wolves, I'll correct myself. However, there are people that are better suited to talk about it, and it's Alfama and Fresh discussing the stars of tomorrow.
The first star of tomorrow is going to be Leighton, who's currently playing for Wild inside of EU League, but he didn't always play for Wild, did he, Leo?
No, actually, he had a lot of play in Tier 2 before that. He actually won Nationals in UKIN. He has been around for 4 years in Tier 2. I think that's really made him grow and progress so that he would be comfortable joining in Tier 1. And actually had a top placement in Southbridge, I think 3rd of Southbridge.
Players on the solar balcony. The fire comes out, but he still gets away with a kill.
I've got a little bit of experience with Leighton on a personal level. I've been in a couple of teams with him, just seeing how he operates internally. And I can say that he's got a very, very smart head about him. He understands the game a lot, he watches the game a lot, and it's no surprise to see that once he'd done a lot of time, and it was a lot of time in these Tier 2 competitions, that he was able to make the step up to Tier 1.
Packball wins his one against Grubby, coming from the other side. Leighton! Nobody knew he was there the whole time!
And that's a really hard step up to make, especially on his role. He's in-game leader. He has to lead a team that had a really bad record into now almost beating BDS and winning 7-1 against Ence.
Look, Ence still have a pretty good look in to win this round. Their advantage has fallen away. As I say that, another peek comes through. Another shot! Leighton is putting the team on his back.
That's why we think he's impressive and going into a very specially needed role in-game leading.
And I think there's a big general lack of in-game leaders across the board in Europe, so Leighton having those means that the sky is the limit for him.
But, he still gets away with a kill.
I love that. It's very relaxed when you get to talk about this, especially, 3 players, and there are, of course, more in EUL that are up-and-comers, but if for a moment we could talk about the players that are now parts of cores. They have now considered the old guard, even though, to me, it feels like yesterday when they were considered the new kids on the block. We talked about, Likefak in the day, Pasha in the day, Joystick, even that's not long ago, that they were just the rookies on the block, Leo.
Dan as well. But
yeah,
if you want to give a good example, compared to Leighton, for example, Likefak came in directly from Tier 2, having played in French Nationals, having played in this Tier 2 tournament, showed himself, and came in as an in-game leader, and led a top team like BDS to a major victory and to looking towards these big titles like EWC, for example. Now, if you look at what Leighton has been doing with Wild, it's very similar. He comes in with a roster that is entirely rebuilt with younger players, and he finds a vision and somehow unifies a team made of players from completely different horizons and identities, and somehow make it work. And at the same time, incredible fragging potential. And I would say that a lot of teams right now in Europe are missing that direction. So that's what we meant by he's growing into a very important role that is in-game leading and fragging at the same time. Now, a lot of people should have their eyes on him.
And I think that's the thing with European teams as well. If you look at pretty much every European team across the board, in recent history, they've brought on a rookie. I mean, even G2 did it last summer when they brought on Gemini. I know it didn't work out, but they were willing to take that risk. BDS did it. We're seeing Fnatic now do it. Lots of teams, and that pipeline is there of talent inside of Europe. And Leighton's just one of many examples of that.
You just go back to that interview from Mugli right there.
Yeah.
Only 10 minutes ago, he was saying how much Asa was helping him and Lasmo was helping him with new ideas. That's what you get when you get fresh blood. Players that play the game a lot, and when a new operation releases, they spend the most time on new operators and they get to bring new stuff to you. That's what I love about young blood. They're passionate and they make your team bring a new vision.
That's incredibly important. You need that refresher because no matter what, and that includes us even in our positions, but everybody out there, kind of getting that fresh blood in, allowing yourself to be challenged. That's quite important to keep that product that you give at the end, be it in game or otherwise, consistently at 100% and beyond. That's what you need when you're at a tippity top of the conversation around kind of the league and everything that happens in Rainbow Six. But let's continue the conversation then to our next matchup. Ence take on BDS. And I think there's no two way around it. We're gonna have to talk about the elephant in the room, the Swiss elephant here behind us that is a mishmash of many BDS, Leo?
Just after winning another World Championship on another esports title, you look at BDS dominating Rainbow Six Siege and at the top of the standings in Europe. Now, I want to say, it's been good to see Shaco just fragging crazy, just like he did before.
When is that ever not good?
That's it just feels right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we kind of missed that the last year, kind of. It's amazing to see him back on the horse. Jesus as well, as always, carrying the team. Such a great team right now, such in a good shape. And I would say, if you look on paper, yes, they're dominating, but it's always kind of close, a little bit too close from what we've seen from other teams before.
See, you say that. I described them earlier that when they're playing the good Siege, BDS, they're an immovable object, right? They are just the best team in the world. But when they're not playing the good Siege, they are also an unstoppable force because of the individual talents of Shaco, of Leaky Fact, User Salto. And I'm not going to throw Brede under the bus as well. Brede as well had a massive, clutch when he was playing on Bank a couple of game days ago as well.
Oh, sorry. I was reading my book of useless information because everything you guys have been saying has been something we've known about BDS since forever now. They're just, okay, they're the best. Sure. Get it out of the way.
Do you know what it is as an analyst, Milosh? Is we look and we try and find the weaknesses.
And there is one.
And there is one, apparently, according to this guy.
There is a weakness.
Oh,
let's take a look at what they've done so far. Let's take a look at their record. Let's take a look at the matches they've played in URL. They've won 8-7 versus Wild. That was one round away from loss. Let's take a look at 5-7, 5-7 loss in the two last players. That's again one round away from overtime. BDS is on the edge every single time, which means you can achieve to upset them in a BO1. It shows. And like they said in interviews multiple times, every team that plays against them is raising the bar against them.
I don't know if I buy that. I really don't know if I buy this, because if they're operating here but still winning, when they get to the tournaments, they get up to here and then here. There's other teams operating at like 100 million% and not getting close to BDS, Leo.
That's for sure, but right now, I'm just leading the fact score right now. The score is way too tight in Europe, in European League.
W's. I don't know why I crossed my arms to do that. All I'm seeing is W's from BDS. I'm going to own that.
To quote Likefag, anytime he's on interview, X team, they are really good. And every time it's been the case when they've been pushed to the edge there. But we have to stop talking about BDS for a moment. Excuse me here. I think we've had enough of it. Everybody's heard enough about them. We have to talk about Ence on the other side. So I didn't say it at the beginning, but we have to kind of lay it out there. This is a game of tops and bottoms. And Ence are definitely bottoming in this one.
Bottoms come out on top sometimes, though, Milosh. That's all I'm going to say. I think, I said about BDS, where do you find the weakness? I think right at this present moment, you look at Ence and you think, where do you find the strength?
Yeah.
What have they got going for them? And I think it's very, very hard, because when they're playing default Siege, when they're playing normal Siege, it's very predictable and readable. When they go a bit off script, it's very loose.
It's too
and they're not together.
Be efficient. You see what I mean?
Yes, yeah. It's very hard to find a strength. The one thing that I will say is that Ence have beaten BDS once out of absolute nowhere. They did it last stage. I think that's the only thing that I can clutch onto as to why this might be an upset.
And I would also point out, yes, we've been saying that Ence are struggling. Yes, they're all the way at the end of the standings. But guys, it's the first time that Elems plays against his former teammates. This is a major boost for him. He needs to show somehow that they picked the wrong guys, that it was a mistake to get rid of him. Let's be honest right now, with the records, they just won EWC, they're top of the standings, it looks like they made the right choice. But he has an opportunity in that year one to be like, hey guys, maybe I still had it in me.
Exactly, Leakyfax said this, like everybody when they play against BDS are the team that has the target on the map. Everybody raises their levels against BDS, and Elems has got that little bit extra motivation, because he will feel that he was harshly dropped from that team.
I mean, if anything, maybe that can play into the map bans of Ence, because this is an enemy that you know in some ways. You've been on the inside, and Chalet is the pick here with a BDS ban. Jack, please.
So I'm looking immediately at the Chalet as the map that has been picked. You know, regardless of bans, we've ended up on Chalet here. Now, Ence have played this map twice. They looked horrible on it twice. And I think BDS have been able to navigate it here because they are so good, to be honest, on so many maps that BDS can just start leaving all of their best maps open that they'll play anybody on. You know, your banks, your labs, those kind of maps that Ence have been forced to ban. And then they will just always leave Chalet open. And especially now they've got two VODs on Ence on that map.
Yeah, they went all the way to leave Lair open and in the end chose to remove it. I think when you go against a team that you're supposed to beat, that you're supposed to be that good, you don't want to go into an unknown map. You just want to take it easy, go on a comfortable map. That one is Chalet. Like you said, it's actually crazy that in the only 3 play days that Ence played, 2 of them were on Chalet, and they lost 1-7, 4-7. It wasn't even close. That's what I find interesting. If they go back to that, I know I already said this last time on the desk, straight after a loss on Chalet, but they should learn from it. There's no better way to learn than actually losing in official. So I'm expecting Ence to be better, to come up with a new plan. Now I have to say, last time they played, first play day, a really cheesy move, didn't work. Second play day, very slow and methodical. What do you do if both didn't work? I'm just wondering, what did they learn from it?
Throw caution to the wind, and it's Ranky Strat time.
Maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
We shall see. Anyways, let's see our casters. Bring them up on the screen. Let's say hello. Ollie, Demo, how are we feeling about this one? It's the game we've all been waiting for.
Is it really the game we've all been waiting for, Milosh?
Demo's been waiting for G2, to be fair. Let's be honest.
When is he now?
Demo's still waiting for G2 to be played here. I've got to deal with this guy for another 40 minutes.
Gentlemen, I mean,
yeah.
look, the stakes on here is we all know BDS is going to win, but the question is always, what can Ence do/learn from a game like this, especially if you're looking back at yesterday?
I mean, does Leo know that BDS is going to win? Leo sounded like a bit of a hater there during that. He was, you know, he reckons that, and to quote, BDS are on the edge.
They are on the edge because they always win from one round. That's it, 1 round difference. And that's my biggest issue with them. They're dominating, but if you look
Leo,
close, not that
the
dominating.
only thing on the edge is me, on the edge of my seat, watching BDS. They're one of the best teams in the world right now.
And they're facing the worst standings, so they should not be on the edge anymore, X, right?
Exactly. Maybe I'll be fully reclined by the end of this, who knows?
Everybody said that about BDS on Playday 1, and look where that got us. But let's get this game started. Please, casters, you can click B and get us in the game. Extra Troika Demo, take it away.
Thank you very much indeed. We are going to be getting stuck into our 3rd game here of the night. Regardless of what happens here, Demo, we have still got one more game coming. We are at the halfway point, starting the second half of our evening right now. We've got BDS versus Ence right now. A lot of BDS chatter on that desk, but it is for good reason. Ence on the flip side, the team coming into this with arguably not a lot to lose, currently sitting at the bottom of our standings here in Europe. Anything would be a result for them here tonight. And we're going to be headed to Chalet for this showdown.
We are indeed. I mean, look, they talked about in the desk. They tried to play fast, didn't work. They tried to play slow, didn't work. Milosh says, oh, play ranked against BDS. BDS are a ranked stack. These guys 5-stack ranked. EFAC and users went 100-0 last season in ranked. That's not going to work.
That's unreal, isn't it? 100-0.
That was one thing I've always wanted to do, and the closest I got was 64-0. And then I thought it was never gonna happen. No one can do it, and then these guys do it, and I just couldn't believe it.
Unbelievable. I'm still pretty mind blown at that, you know. Well, that's incredible.
Yeah. You have to have some momentum.
They are a bit of a ranky stack.
They are.
But that's what you get when you get a team that, you know, is got good vibes and got good synergy, got good friendship. You know, you're going to play together a lot and you're going to build something.
Yeah.
I wonder if Ence have ever got 100-0 in ranky.
Wonder if they've ever played ranked together.
I'm sure they will have done. Alems will have brought some of that spirit over.
Oh, to be fair, I think team rank goes one of 2 ways, because I think, well, from the rumors I hear is that BDS 5-stack and ranked are like incredible. 5-stack G2 and ranked is freebie, because all they do is troll each other. That's the 2 sides of the coin.
Well, there is, isn't there? There's, you know, ranked with friends can be dangerous.
Yeah. We know that all too well.
Or it can be, I mean, it's always going to be a good time, right?
Yeah. But
Right,
is it going to be a fun time? Is it going to be a
really
fun
always going to be a
time?
good time? I like that Capcom.
So one thing that a lot of people have kind of talked about is, okay, how do you play against BDS? You know, you look at yesterday, Wolves, you know, got pretty close, and Wolves for a lot of the time, I think they probably lost the game on their attacking half, and I think that's because they got too wound up thinking about what BDS are going to do. The thing with BDS and how they play Siege in the defense anyway, is they will all just pick operators that they want and just go off and do their own thing. That's the way BDS play Siege a lot of the time, is they don't have set strats.
So trying to VOD review this team, there's no point. There is no point VOD reviewing BDS and defense, because 9 times out of 10 they will do a different thing every time they play. Like, you look at the lineup right now. You've got somebody bandit tricking, then you have EFAC on a cap can roam upstairs. You know? Do you sit down and make strats like that?
Make it make sense.
That's the way you look at BDS. Is they'll all just pick what they want and they just do
what
stuff.
a nade.
You know? Like, if you were stratting, you'd be like, okay, let's ban the trick. We need a Jaeger, we need a Wamai to stop the nades coming in. No. Not here.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
No, Brede just gets sold because no one wanted to play a Wamai or a Jaeger.
You know what I mean? That's how it works. That's how you have to deal with it for BDS. And 9 times out of 10, the way that those guys are talking about BDS, it's the individual play style that wins them a lot of rounds. It's just down to individually, they're all incredible. And their gun skill is second to none.
Azok's on the top floor clear now. He's going to be the tip of the spear right now. He's got Naku in tow. The wall is already open, of course, so Naku is freed up to do basically whatever he wants right now. Now, Leaky Fag could be in some hot water. Depends what information is available for Brede to be feeding over to him. It looks like he's got a bit hatch open, so he can drop off, and he's got a bit of reinforcement going on up there as well, so should be able to get his way back down to site, but not before just sending out a little C4. But look at the labyrinth that has been created for him. Can easily get his way back to site. There's already a Kiba barricade, and well, as quick as he was there, he's gone, vanished like a ghost. Back down toward the site. Done something to waste some time there. The C4 could have come to something, but as it stands, 30 seconds now for Ence to try and make this execute happen. They're not quite going up against the full force of BDS on site, but it's almost as good as.
This is what I'm saying, bro. Trench wall, completely soft for Azox to open up. But BDS is what I mean, Ollie. It's the individual gun skill that just sees them over the edge. Ence getting ripped apart. Time not favorable now for Alams. He's able to get one exit frag. And the last one dies. I mean, look, it just... Bro, they have 3 reinforcements left and nobody done trench wall. This is what I mean, the way these guys play Siege. They don't have set strats in defense. They just do their own thing.
We use the phrase run around a lot.
They do run around. That's literally what they do with EFAC.
They do. They run up, but it's more than just the actual physical running
the team
around.
Play. The comms and the way that they read each other, that's what makes them unstoppable. That's what it is. There, 100%, there are better defending teams out there in terms of the strategies that they have and the way that they hold things. But you would be very difficult to find a better team who has the synergy that this team has, which is incredible considering that this team's only been together for 6 months as well.
Yeah, only speaking in English for 6 months as well. Or maybe it's like a little bit longer now.
Shaiko's been speaking English for over a year now, because he started speaking English last year, last summer. But yeah, it's just that thing. But look, obviously for BDS, they're up against Ence. Everyone knows this is probably only going to go one way. It just is. You're up, you know, there's the weakest team in the league versus the best team in the league. Yeah. It's a mismatch.
And BDS aren't going to want to give too much away. They don't want to necessarily be bringing out the big guns here for this fixture. Instead, they're just going to lean into some well-known defaults. Going to be defending it into bar. We've got Frost. Frost is fantastic for this site. A lot of windows that you can place those frost mats down on and gain a little bit of value. Sometimes a random one placed in and around the bar as well does good. But of course, it brings that all-important shield to hold on to the top of those library stairs. And as an attacker, you've got a decision to make. Are you going to try and brute force your way in through library windows? Or instead, are you going to go for a bit more of an across clear in through office? There's a heavy stack up right now on this office door. And that's where it's going to start.
It's the first time I've ever seen a triple man punch a barricade just to get in there quickly, Ollie.
I mean, we talk about synergy. That was synergy right there.
Mm-hmm. Certainly is. Look at this from Alams as well. A lurk on the Nook. I mean, one thing I also want to talk about Ence is just what we've seen over the course of, you know, the season for them is they bring in Alams. A lot of experience. Can shot call really well. But the thing is, it gets me is it feels as though Alams has just been stuck on like these first entry lurk roles and he's not really able to shot call. which I don't know if they're not allowing in the shot call, if that's maybe the case of, you know, we picked you up to do this role, but that seems strange to me.
It's going to be difficult for Lems as well, of going from shot calling people that you know and you've been with for a long time to then transitioning to do that differently. It's going to be a...
Well, this is the team he's against now.
Exactly. It's going to be awful for him as well, though, because he's going to know how they're going to play more than anyone else. Solotov going to get caught wandering there at the top of Fireplace. Another round where we see the opening pick go in favor of Ence, but it doesn't seem to worry BDS all too much, although this time it might. Lems joins in on the action right now, and he's in the heart of the bomb site, trying to make something happen, but gets done by the Capcan. A double for Users as he lands a C4 up top as well. And just like that, BDS are right back in this thing, leveled up at two man apiece.
Oh, down as well from Skies. Is anyone there to get the revive? Doesn't look to be the case as Azox is then prioritized going for the kill. Are they just gonna let him bleed out? Looks to be the case. Skies is gonna be dead for this round, but still a 1v2, and Azox cleans up house. Hence, get the round on the board. I mean, it has to be said, BDS didn't really have to do much, but Solotov, I think, was the important kill. He just decides to swing onto Fireplace.
Wandering.
He's the Azami as well. Think how strong Azami is just playing top fire.
No, seriously got caught out there, didn't he? Good that Ence managed to make good on that opening pick this time. They're able to convert the round. I just couldn't believe it when I saw Lems literally in the site. I can't believe it's a bloody Capcan trap that's done him as well. It's a genius Capcan placement. Well, Ence have got a round. We'll be feeling pretty good about that, make no mistakes. Guys was a real big part in that round as well. But ultimately, it was just a little bit of a stretch too far for BDS there, especially after losing that key player on Fireplace. They're going to be taking us to the other mid-floor bomb site now. Dining and kitchen.
Attackers are moving.
Avoiding that top floor so far. We might see it later on, depending on how things go. For the meantime, we are going to be sticking to this mid-floor.
In the lineup from Ence, obviously it's going to be a little bit more gun-centric. I think with the Ying band as well. So definitely an operator you'd like to have. But look, Grim's still up, which is great for clearing away top Fireplace, for example. Obviously Azox, I think, is going to be putting in good work with the Ash. Oh, Usus. Able to find one pellet, but sadly misses out on the second. So that castle barricade is going to be opened up. It creates that line of sight. But they've actually reinforced quite a lot of library. Now they've left it. They're gone. They're out of there. But it's almost, to be fair, like, you look at the way that BDS is set up. Yes, they've went for the castle. Yes, they've went for a lot of reinforcements over towards library. But it's more of a case of, we're just going to try and burn as much util as we can possible, just as we can possible in the first half, and then just rinse them in the second half whenever we know they have nothing.
Drone activated.
Not a bad strategy to go for, really. You know, place some significant utility really on the edges of the site and on some of those adjacent rooms, and force a little bit of a util game out, because as we mentioned, this is a mid-floor site. So, oh, what a shot from Rykos. Solotov, see you later, buddy. That was a banger.
Ooh.
I had to double take who that was for a second there, because you see it's a Nomad, you see BDS playing, and you're like, oh, it's probably Shaiko, and no. Very much a Rykos kill.
The thing is, Shaiko Nomad, I no longer associate him with that operator. It's a Deimos for me now with Shaiko.
Yeah,
so I don't make that one. Yazami. Oh my word. Literally seen the ace, or the Habana, sorry, and I think Habana also seen him a jump out. Look at the aggression from EFAC. Takes out Azox. You know, a lot of damage during the last round, but that breach is really difficult now for them to deal with. They've able to cross over, but because of that, Brede is ready with a C4. Here's that barbed wire. Rips the C4, gets the kill. Breach is going to be open. Yes, we know that. But 30 seconds to go, and you don't have the man advantage. You still don't even have top floor control. How on earth are you going to be able to take this? Use as a clean kill on the Rykos. Plant being attempted now by NAQ. Alam's going to need to try and hold it down. From above, the Alec going to try and rip him apart, but he gets shot from every which way. And Alam's caught now in the clutch. He also goes down. BDS, as easy as you like.
BDS just happy to hold on to that top floor for the majority of the round there. Users still operating inside of office right up until the bitter end. Ence never fully managing to clear that top floor. Especially for how much it cost them to do so. You got to be a little bit surprised there that they didn't actually get it done. Something that isn't a surprise is the timeout. Ence going to choose now to try and steady the ship. I feel like they've seen a full rotation here from BDS in terms of the sites that BDS are going to defend today on Chalet. They've chosen now to figure things out. On the BDS side of things, this is typically time for Leaky Fact to start talking demo.
It is. Gives them a chance as well. One thing about Ence's slow play styles, one thing that hit me immediately from day one is just how slow this team's takes. You know, it's probably the slowest team I think we have in the league. And, you know, VP's in the league, so that's saying something, I think, for a team like Ence. And you can see the way that BDS, you know, they know that play style. That's why they're setting up all that util on the other side of the map, just to burn that time even more so. I think Ence as well, they realize that, yeah, this is Chalet, we need to get more attacks. I think currently the stat lines will kind of suggest that Chalet is defender-sided, but I personally don't think it is. I think certainly G2 kind of weighed that a little bit with what happened to them against VP.
Mm-hmm.
So I think generally you're looking at probably an even split on Chalet. So 3 attacks. That's really what Ence would need to have. Any less, it's going to be all uphill from there.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's not one of those maps that you look at and instantly think extremely one-sided. I think if anything, attacks have maybe got the edge.
Yeah, I think with Grim up as well.
Yeah,
I think you've got a good case for that.
Yeah, band dependent, but I think attacks potentially have an edge.
Grim and Ying, you're probably thinking, okay, a little bit difficult for attackers to clear away some of those positions and execute, but I think we've won.
The elephant's in the room, Demo. The Monty's available, and we're not seeing Ence choose it.
Yeah, well, the thing with Monty on Chalet is there is like a lot of flanks, not a lot of ways that you can really push it, just one directional as well. Really, basement is where he's good for, you know, pushing in towards wine. But for the top floor and possibly the mid floor, a little bit more difficult because you're dealing with, you know, constant flanks, roamers, for example. You know, as soon as Monty gets flanked, we know that the pain that can cause for a lot of teams. He's still good. Of course he is. He's still good in every scenario, but not as much as other maps that we see.
Brede got taken out very early in round number 1 on this exact site. A nade sent through the garage drone hole as he was trying to bandit trick. Not going to be trying to bandit trick this time. Instead, he's brought along the Cade. A little bit more set and forget utility there.
Happy that BDS have reinforced trench.
Well, they've done the job now this time, haven't they? They realised it maybe got a bit close in round 1, so going to try that instead. Solotov there, I'm not sure if he thought that the breach was going off on that long angle wall or didn't realise that it was actually the boiler wall that was going, but through the Zoto canister on the wrong one either way. So that wall will now be opened relatively on time, I guess, at this point for Ence in their push.
Yeah, I like this attack from Ence. This is really difficult, I think, to deal with and play against. If you're BDS, remember all of these angles get opened up and there's just a clear way into the site, then it can be difficult. But right now, BDS, they're fighting back using C4s. So Ence, they need to try and stabilize as best as they can right now. They have the hatch available to themselves, but they're still worried about roamers that could be lurking upstairs. It looks as though the Tabaro has done the business though, all in with that long angle not being opened up. It's gonna be really difficult for Ence to break this defense down. Use the C4 ready for the call. So trench is where most of this pressure is gonna have to come from. Alems sneaks in, destroys the X-Kairos pellet, and now that means the wall will be opened up. So a really smart play from Alems, knows that he needs to get that wall open for his team, but he's only just got the head hole for it. And oh, Usus, what a peek! Eventually gets taken down, but as long as he gets his kill, he's just causing more issues for Ence, and Ence are collapsing again. BDS, they win a site that we usually say is pretty unfavorable for the defense. But the Tabaro slowed things down, Ollie. The C4s worked really well. I mean, Ence just struggling to get the trades.
I think Solotov's Zoto placement was probably perfect there. I know I questioned it in the moment, but I'm pretty sure that the X-Kairos pellets were going off at the same time that the trench wall was getting opened. He was able to delay that, and eventually it did get destroyed. That was heartbreak as well. You know, everyone's been there. You see the C4 land at your feet, you just can't trace it quick enough. Solotov, real commanding position that round. But again, it was lack of direction there from Ence. I think they did a fantastic job to get things open, but I guess the only two things for me would be that they did spend a little bit of time chasing shadows on that top floor. I don't think they'd realized that defenders had rotated back down to site. And then the other one would have been, maybe it would have been nice to get the garage wall open as well and just start to apply a little bit of pressure that way. Send somebody down blue, perhaps. But ultimately, a lot of that just came down to gunfights.
As it will against BDS, it always does.
Because they know that they're good at them. Yeah.
The thing is, Ence, it's now twice in a row where I would say that the second half of the round, you know, from about minute 30, the actual, you know, decision making about getting that diffuser down has been shoddy. You know, yes, they've been able to establish good control of whatever they want to take, but I would say for a lot of the time, BDS have allowed them to have it anyway. You know, BDS, yes, they've been set up these holes in towards the top floor and extensions across, but they've had really no intention of holding them anyway. You know, BDS are just saying, yeah, we're going to set up here, but we're going to give you anyway. So really for Ence, I think it's you know, it's almost misleads the shareholders in a way, Ollie, where you think they're doing great work, but realistically, it's just BDS allowing them to have it.
They're padding the bottom line, are they? Fudging the numbers. I'm not sure what Azox was doing, by the way. Azox has just hopped into library and users killed him. And was it droned? I don't know. Was he hoping to win the gunfight?
Total head loss.
I don't think. I mean, I'm not sure if it's that bad, but that position inside the library is so well known. The C4 gets sent out. It does a bit of damage, but not too much. Leaky Fag. He's on 8 HP.
He's trolling as well. Look at his gun.
Yeah, seriously trolling.
Using the K1A. Who uses that gun?
Oh dear. Life. Solotov will trade, or Naked will trade, excuse me. That's one of the oldest tricks in the book.
That's
can't be doing that against. Yeah, you can't be doing that against Solotov and users. They invented that one.
They did. They used to do that strat back in the day. But still able to get it open, but BDS, again, not really worried about that. Bride just playing a little bit more extended into the game's bomb site instead of sitting inside a connector. EFAC with AHP, he's just going to try and see if he can get lucky and sit in a corner, hope somebody walks past him. But again, for Ence, it's this second half again, all it's a stall out, and Shaiko, I think, is going to be on for a freebie. Never mind! Sit down, Shaiko! Just pulls the trigger too quick in that pre-fire, and that DMR hits like a truck, we know that. Hughes is still inside that suicide position. I think he's going to get caught out here, and he will be. Rykos flashed himself out. Seeing that BDS has no help to give users, and EFAC, who's on such low HP, he goes down. That was an angry round, it felt like, from Ence.
It was, wasn't it? I like it, though. I loved Rykos' push onto users. I just wish it had happened a minute and a half sooner. I think he did a great job. Users is up there. He's got nothing, by the way. He's got a mute jammer. That's it. That had happened in the early part of the round when Azox pushed in as well. He would have at least guaranteed the kill on him. As it stands, a lot of it came down to 1v1s, really. BDS just losing those engagements. Ence in with a chance here at an equal half. 3-3 split on the attack. Would start to feel pretty good indeed. However, the job is not done by any stretch. And as we've already mentioned pretty extensively on the desk here today, BDS, whilst we praise them, whilst we think that they are one of the best teams inside of Europe, if not the best team, they don't always give themselves the easiest run of things. What I mean by that is they often fly a little bit too close to the sun in terms of round count. Some games either going to an overtime or narrowly avoiding it.
Yeah, they play themselves, don't they? Seems to be one of the main issues that I think BDS have had is whenever they're at their full strength, look, they're the best team in the world, no doubt about it. They proved that in the summer.
Drone ready.
But they don't always use, you know, the whole 100% of their power. Just saving a bit of battery, but look, obviously for BDS, don't forget, you know, the season's best of ones. Whenever it comes to actually qualifying into the majors, it's best of threes, and that's where that team just kicks into another gear. We know that. Whenever it comes to actually qualifying for stuff, you know they'll be there.
I'll tell you what it feels like a little bit. Feels like when we used to do BR6, LATAM, back when it was called LATAM, and you got some teams in there that were, like, at the time, some of the best teams in the world. And during the regular stage, like, they wouldn't always perform because it was a best of one. And because they sometimes knew they didn't have to, because of the qualifiers being so strong and being that best of three and knowing that they've got it when it counts. I'm not saying that BDS aren't trying, but it sort of a little bit feels a bit like that.
For Ence, I think they need to get this round if they want to stand any chance of going up against BDS, because whenever you're allowing Shaiko to have things such as the Deimos incoming, which we know is so strong for this team, and it causes issues. Ence gonna go for a full execute onto this top floor and see if they can clear out these roamers. The DMR will connect onto LM. Solotov freezes the wall for himself, keeps himself alive. Another Selma goes down, another canister should come out. Never mind. Finally, he goes down. So Solotov has done his worth. He's got his kill. He's wasted time, wasted utility. And Uses is still up here alongside Shaiko. Look at all these keeper barriers that Ence still have to go for. I mean, they are dumping all of their Bs upstairs as well, Ollie. Like, how are they going to execute whenever they use all of this util upstairs?
You look what they've got left, and it isn't a lot at all, is it? 45 seconds. They have got this top floor control, but they don't quite know it just yet.
Drop the bomb diffuser.
They are in the fact-finding part of that, and they're going to spend a stun. It's not even going to matter because BDS is going to get the C4 from below. That should give you the indication that you need that, well, maybe this top floor is clear, and maybe it's because BDS have given it to us. Skies, there's a chance here at a shot. Just gets a little peek at the back, but Shaiko, the turn and burn, look at him go! Chalks up two before being taken out, but it doesn't matter. Another round there for BDS on the defense. They're going to finish in a 4-2 split.
Yeah, BDS will be happy with that. Again, another good defense, wasting the time, burning out the utility. Ence just not quick enough. Look, we knew that. So Ence have to dig in deep now because this battle will be all from an uphill perspective for Ence. And Shaiko's just... What do you say? You know?
It's just beautiful, isn't it? I don't drop the turn and burn often, but I think once a play day for a Shaiko move is very, very worth it.
It's always something. Always something to say about Shaiko, who, look, got a lot of bad stick, didn't he, during the major? A lot of people said he was ghosting for a lot of the games. Wasn't showing up. You know, it was EFAC, especially in that grand final, was, you know, was pulling BDS round by round against Beast Coast. But I think this stage Shaiko has been on fire.
10 seconds remaining.
It's Uses in this game, though. Shaiko's just had a flashy moment there, but
5 seconds
that's
remaining.
half of his kills in
I'm
that
just
last
talking
round.
about as a whole. You know, there's a hole in the stage. You know,
Yeah, no, as a whole, yeah, I would say that.
Use the bomb.
Activate the short roll.
I think credit where credit is due for this fixture in particular, and I think Uses has once again just found himself in the right place at the right time.
Deployed. We have some time.
As a positional player, I don't really think you could want for much more. Well, sides have switched now. Round number 7. BDS 4 rounds to Ence's 2. How do Ence respond here now that they are on the defense? They do have to go up against the terrifying might that is going to be the Bride drone and the Shaiko Deimos. That is very often a devastating combination. And it does credit a lot of entry kills toward BDS. Lion scan out as well here just to further gather that information. BDS haven't really done anything yet, and they've already taken some map control. They've just been allowed to sneak into library, it seems. And Chaco's lining one up, but Skies was ready for it.
Try to get through that.
Look at Ence and the lineup. I mean, two operators from BDS, the Lion and the Deimos, are going to be completely neutralized by the Vigil. You can counter that. Both those operators can just run around with a scanner in. Doesn't get spotted out. And Lamb's is going to bide his time, as BDS have obviously been stunned a little bit by that opening death. Hoping that Shaiko can get things going for them. That's not been the case. And two players downstairs. Always going to be a threat to might get a C4 in there. And Usus has identified that and will take up the mantle of being the lone pusher downstairs. The rest of his team will have to try and make it work into the site. Player inside of Piano will be spotted out. Oh, Solotov misses his shots. I thought Raikov should have been dead the rights there, but not the case. And French right now, they just don't need to swing. They don't need to do anything. Just play your trades.
Ents are in a really powerful position right now. We've still got Lems downstairs on the prowl as well. Solotov trying to make something happen, but I don't think he's going to be given the same opportunity twice, and the C4 is eventually ripped. Sends Solotov to the cameras. The Selma may explode the wall. Great play there from Bride to take down a Lems, but he's going to have to do a little bit more than that. Leveled out to a 2 versus 2 now. Usus and Bride going back to back right now. Usus, he's not finished there. It's 1 versus 1. Azox
No diffuser.
picks up Bride at the top of these library stairs, but Usus has the information. The diffuser cold, able to be recovered right now. Azox has dipped right back. He's only got 5 HP, don't forget, and he's no C4.
Yeah, he's
The
a 1
plant
speed.
can start to go down now.
5 seconds remaining.
Azox is positioning. He's really giving this away. He's allowed the plant to go down. He's got caught out on the drone as well. Another drone in pocket here for Usus. This is fantastic positioning right now. It's gone from being an Ents round to going to be very difficult now. The shock drone nearly to finish it. And Usus now knows exactly where he is. Azox still firmly in the dark for this one. Gives his position away, and Usus, easy as you like with the swing into Piano. Clutches out the round for BDS.
I have to credit him. He played for the clip. He played for the Twitch drone. He really did. I mean, BDS winning that round's incredible. I thought the positioning from Ence was top tier, playing behind the zombie barriers. The breach really wasn't opened up to the way that you would expect it to be. Look at the position Skies was in. But Usus, a man on a mission, able to fight against the players downstairs, able to push up into solar stairs, hit the backside. More importantly, kill Skies, who was ready just to check Bride immediately as he tried to push in towards jungle. So Usus was the savior. I mean, to be fair, Bride had his fair share of kills as well, but really,
I was going to say, you know,
pulls him out of that round.
Yeah, we didn't really get to see everything from Usus' POV with where he came through. We were locked into Bride, and Bride got 2 fantastic kills there. And it's all about knowing when to engage and prioritizing targets, because he could have really easily got wrapped up in knowing there was someone behind Piano, but he doesn't. So conscious of that library stair. I think a Lems on the flank, maybe, you know, would he have been better off going up solar? He probably had the time to do so. Bit of a tough one there for Ents, because you look at the positioning, you look at the advantage that they had, and they gave it all away so quickly. But you blink and you miss it against this BDS roster, because it doesn't matter what the man count is. They're going to find a way.
Right. 5-2 for BDS. A scoreline I don't think many people would be too surprised about. BDS in the driver's seat, and they really have been, let's be honest, for the majority of the game. Not much has changed from the lineup again from BDS. The Lion Deimos combination is in effect, but for Lambs on that Vigil again, keep themselves as safe as what can be. Bride, opening pick. Takes out Lambs, the Vigil, gone. So that means everyone's going to be able to get tracked by the Lion and the Deimos, which, that's the scary thing for Ents. Shaiko's alive, can start scanning out free if your player's already. And this is just where they're just so dangerous. All they can feed out this information, and the way that they just pinch you and they corner you. He should be dead. Napier should be dead. The right's here somehow still alive. I think it's because he is a Zami. All he can make his own cover. But it just feels like a matter of time before he does get caught out.
Full white flash now again. The stun's going to keep raining on in. No one from BDS really wanting to commit though. Napier is ready for the player to hop in through the window, and he now knows where Deimos is. Maybe try and get away, and he's allowed to cross there. Leaky Fight nearly has a chance at a shot, but Naku hits a banger, gets him on the drive-by, and he's away. How has he gotten out of that?
He might be the only person that ever lived one of them. We have watched that countless times, and every single time that player's dead. The way BDS set up with their crossfires, everything always goes according to plan. He's the only person to survive a BDS pinch and live the tail to tail. Like, unbelievable.
Well, he's not done there. Gonna pick up another on to Solotov. Shaiko, he hops into the top of Solar trying to make something happen. He's gonna fall to Skies. Users meets a very similar fate. BDS yet to spend more than about 5 seconds in the building right now, as they are just batted away at the windows.
My word. Look, obviously, like I mentioned, that shouldn't be happening. There's no way he should live that, but he does. Even Skies has actually had Shaiko's number, I feel, this game.
No, he has. He's done him a few times.
That's important to have.
Not many people have got Shaiko's number.
The thing with Skies as well, I know Skies was on, the kind of list for a lot of teams coming into EUL whenever he was just back, inside of tier 2. And, for good reason. I think Skies is a very talented player. I know that Wolves were after him for a period as well. Naturally, because French. What a surprise. Skies is kind of like, he's kind of like EFAC's disciple in a way as well, because those two played with each other for a while.
I love how, because people play Ranky together, you end up calling them like disciples.
It's true though. It's true. You're my disciple.
Oh no, I don't like that.
You don't like that?
No, I'm not keen on that. I'm my own disciple. Look at the amount of info that Shaiko's got available to him.
How many has been scanned? That's
4
the question.
out of the 5.
There we go, 4. Who's the 5th? Who doesn't he have?
I didn't
like match attacks back in the day, collecting all the cards. Who have you not got?
I'm sure we'll see when we get back onto his path, but he's onto the 2-brow right now. See, that's very unlike Shaiko's use of the Deimos, isn't it?
Yeah, because he usually figures out, okay, who's Brede droning? Brede will tell me who's here, and then he'll scan that player and then jump in and kill him. Generally how it works out.
In that instance, he picked the only player that was in a coffin. In a totally sealed room that he couldn't get anywhere near. As it stands, they've still managed to find an entry, this time onto Naku. Big player from the previous round, so taking him out is always going to be a good thing. Azok's is playing upstairs in bar as well. Doesn't look too sure about himself right now. I'm not surprised. Shaiko is on the prowl there. Got Solotov above as well. He's going to go for the hot down, but eventually gets taken out. The info onto Azok's coming in a little bit too late there, and it's going to cost him. Users left to try and pick up some pieces, and Leaky Fight joining in on the action. Shaiko makes good on the vendetta eventually, and BDS do find themselves with a big advantage right now going into the final minute and 15.
Yeah, Rykos is thinking, okay, there's no point me sitting in sight. I'll be a dead man if I do that. I need to try and get active and see if I can just find a cheap trick of a kill. Any scans left for Shaiko? There's the cheap trick. Takes down EFAC, and now 1v2. It's a lot better of a position than a 1v3. It doesn't look as though Shaiko has any scans left, because I would have said he would have been scanned by now. Rotates back into the site, has that mirror window as well, but not playing on at the moment. Pops a Goyo! Pops the head of Bride, and that's a 1v1 against Shaiko and Rykos. Out of nowhere. Wins the round for his team. I mean, Ollie, he played it to perfection. He knew he had to get aggro. Needed to get 1 kill out of the 3. Rotates back to site. Plays the util well. Hits some cracking shots. And BDS threw the round away.
1v3. It's got to be a bit of a tilt to that. The analysts are going to have a field day with that one and what that means. We've already spoken that BDS have had a bit of trouble closing out these games, and that was just as simple as closing out a round there. They had everything going for them as well, but not able to get it done. You can see the last couple of kills here now. Cracking last shot there from, oh, second to last shot from Rykos, sorry, at the player at the bottom of those lobby stairs.
10 seconds to go.
Still BDS with an advantage, but you've got to give the mental edge right now over toward Ence.
Barrier activated.
The problem is when you hit it as that top team, everyone's going to rise to the occasion. Ence certainly giving a good account of themselves here today. You just get the feeling that this round 10 could be very important indeed. If they level it up here, that's almost certainly going to force a BDS tactical timeout.
Yeah. So for BDS, they've got a bar to attack and use this. Great little pick there. Takes down that mirror window, which is really the center point for defending that library. You know, Mira stops the jump-ins coming in from the top of those library windows, both of them. And without that, not only does it have a gaping hole, and oh my word, good night, Naku, good night. Uses, got run out on, but somehow taps his head. But anyway, back to the mirror window, like I was mentioning, Ollie. With that massive mirror opening now, it just disables anyone playing inside a fireplace. So it's a 2-for-1. It lets you jump in library and also stops anyone from playing fireplace.
Leaky Vac trying to send some util down through to the top of those ivy stairs, or through that ivy window, excuse me. Rykos, man of the moment from last round. He tucked at the moment inside a library. The Rotero drone's coming out to try and remove some of that deployable utility. Obviously, with Naku gone, the Kiba barricades are going to be somewhat limited. They are still going to be dotted around there. There won't be any more appearing throughout this round. Bride going to be able to get the wall open there inside of office and get himself a nice long line of sight onto those library stairs. Mira on the target. Surely feel his days are numbered right now. If he could take one with him, that would be fantastic. He's going to try and aggress up onto the window, but eventually falls to Solotov. He picks up Skies shortly after. Quick double kill there, but Bride will fall in the midst of things. It may not even matter, though, as Lems is going to be the only remaining survivor here for Ence. And he, too, has a death mark on him right now. They know that he's tucked inside of this stock room, and he's going to try and challenge onto the hatch. Will shut Solotov down, but uses there for the direct trade. BDS never in any real danger there. You just get the feeling that they turned the dial up ever so slightly that round demo. That was very convincing.
Yeah, they've had to use 1% more than what they would have wanted to this evening. Have they shown too much, Ollie?
No, it's one round, isn't it?
Yeah, look, losing that round, I think that's where it's almost like lock in, people. Come on, lock in, it's Ence. You need to win against the bottom of the table teams if you want to try and finish first. Obviously, the big games can sway either which way, but these are the games that you need to win. Especially whenever you look on the surface of your closest competitors in the form of Wolves, who, again, you would expect that Wolves will beat Ence. So that means you then also need to beat Ence.
Laying out the welcome mat.
I think with the way that the desk put it, everybody should beat Ence.
We're ready for company.
May come down to just how many rounds you lose against them at this
10
point.
seconds left before
Round differential.
5 seconds.
I mean, not to be too harsh on Ence, I feel like they've given a good account of themselves so far, but you see the way that BDS played that last round, where there isn't even an inch gap for Ence to get in. I think they could have been playing like that all along, but As it stands, they've left the door ajar for a few and allowed Ence to slip 4 rounds by them. But you do get the feeling that BDS are playing with their food just a little bit at the moment. Well, at least up until this last couple of rounds. This is an opportunity, of course, for BDS to come away with a full 3 points, so they're going to have that on their mind firmly, I believe.
Just the early drone work again from BDS, seeing who they can spot out for that Deimos to track. They do the same thing every round on the attacks as well. Like, it's just scan out, let Deimos track, and then go for it. Generally how they play. I mean, obviously we know that BDS, they can rush if they want to, but usually they don't. You know, they have this style of stage where they just want to pressure all different angles as best they can, just use the sheer team play and gun power that they have. But no kills as of yet. So Skies, this is where he killed Shaco from the exact same angle. I wonder if it'll happen again.
Well, he's reinforcing it, so potentially not.
Yeah.
Might still have Shaco's number, though, because he's done him a few times here tonight.
Ah, they've gave him a shield.
This is very kind of Ence. If I was playing against anyone from BDS, I wouldn't be giving them a thing. Why don't you just pick Rook and put the armor down for him next time as well?
He tried to impact the shield as well. But he missed. Minute left. I mean, obviously, for Ence, if they can just try and keep the man count as low as possible and just don't give BDS that overwhelming man advantage, you never know, but I think Skies is probably going to be the one in the hot seat because he is right on the half wall. Rykos, opening pick onto EFAC. He goes down. But I think he's going to be having a few more to go up against as that buck is primed and ready.
Rykos still in a good position here, though. Biggest problem is he's got the boss G, so he's not going to want to take back-to-back engagements, really. Users. One-man armies his way through, takes Skies down. Brilliant shot from Alems, but he's so far out of the action. He needs to get himself back up to sight. This is 3 versus 3, but with Alem's positioning, it's almost a 3 versus 2. Great shot from Brede there. What about that game sense? Thinks about the plant, recognizes the floor's open, and bang, instantly solves the problem. Naku now trying to push up. Needs to try and transition through Piano. Alems from below, not able to do a single thing. And that plant will be confirmed. First plant we've seen all night, and it might just well be the last. Brede, 2 kills on the round. Alems making his way up these library stairs, gives the game away. Brede for a triple. We only saw 1 plant there tonight from BDS. I don't think we saw him at full power. Demo, they are a devastating side.
Oh, the user smirk as well just tops it off. I mean, Brede, that kill he was able to get onto the player inside a kitchen was A1. You know, absolutely a cracking shot from him. But again, it just comes that game sense from BDS. And look, Ence, they had a good try at it. They really did. But too slow on the attacks. I think that's one thing we have to look at. And then just the overall lack of trade, you know, the trades and the attacks. Obviously, the defense is fine. Look, a lot of teams can defend, but it's the attacks is where we see people really make a name for themselves inside professional play. It's defending's one half. If you can't do the other, you're not going to get very far.
Well, I'm really interested in what our desk has to say about this. I think Ence, on the whole, gave a good account of themselves, but ultimately, BDS are inevitable.
Ollie, this is BDS and unnecessary close games, which is exactly what we had. Leo, we talked about this before we got into game of, is this just BDS constantly? And there were a lot of times we're thinking, God damn, no, this cannot happen.
Yeah, we called it. We expected at least the gap to be a bit bigger
Wider
between these 2 teams, right?
Yeah.
And that's my biggest worry with this is somehow they seem to rely so heavily on the individuals when it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
To be honest, like even in attack, like Ence didn't look really well. Like we were discussing this with Jack before. The smallest things took so much time for Ence to clear. In round 3, they lose because they could not clear a mute jammer, just a mute jammer. And in round 4, they bring Thatcher, they open the walls only when 30 seconds are left in the round, and they don't even trade each other when they execute. See here, that's C4, boom. That's the second time a C4 happens straight before they go into the execute. I could see that everything they were trying to do, they were way too slow, and somehow BDS gave it back way too many times. Sometimes by overpicking, sometimes by not playing together and trading each other, or sometimes just not playing off the utility. So it was a bit of a weird game. I expected better from both of them.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say BDS are playing their best Siege by far. I think this round here, this clutch here is a great example that was Ence throwing it. That wasn't BDS going and winning the round. The very final round that we saw, where BDS walked in, got the breach, got the plant down, and Legion is below, and the other guy is hiding in literal Narnia, isn't BDS going and winning that round. That is Ence going and throwing that round. And I think, you know, these teams are taking BDS close. I wouldn't say they're playing anywhere, you know, anywhere close to perfect Siege, but they have that composure. You know, this is obviously the final round there. They have that composure in the end game, in the late round, to get over the line.
That's another point for Ence. I just want to point out that they're not bad in any way. You know, they're all the way down at the standings. They're 0-4 in EU League. But I just want to say they have some great talent there. We saw an amazing clutch from Azox, for example. And they're amazing players in France. To be honest, they used to play really well in first stage. Something is just not clicking with them. I can see a lot of the time some groups are completely disjointed. You have a core working together towards the bomb site, and at the same time you see lurker that are really struggling. For example, how many times did you see LMs all the way on the other side of the map getting an impactful kill all the way at the end when all of his teammates were killed? Even on the last round, he's with Legion all the way downstairs, like Jack pointed. He has a bulletproof and a super shorty. How does he deny the plant? That's my biggest thing, is they seem disjointed and some players are just alone, left by themselves, not knowing what to do.
I'm just going to say this now, and you know, I honestly believe it based on the fact that we've seen them, 4 or 5 games now. It looks like Ence plus LMs, it doesn't look like a team. And we were expecting LMs to come into this team, galvanize them, bring them together, bring them as one unit with his experience, and it appears to have done the exact opposite.
I would just say I would not blame it on the guy. You know, maybe it's just that the dynamic in the team, the role changes between the in-game leaders. Maybe that's the biggest problem. Now I just want to point out that Ence did some interesting stuff, but I think the bigger storyline here is how consistent BDS gets away with wins that are way too close for comfort.
Yep.
And there were multiple instances in that game, in round 8 and in round 9, of BDS not working together as we expect from top European team.
Do you have something to show for it?
Yeah,
Replay,
I mean,
perhaps?
let's take a look at round 8, for example, right? Round 8 was a moment where they were clearing these stairs here. And you see the Azami in black stairs. She's just using the Azami. She's getting demos tracked. She's getting flashed and stunned. You'll see it there, and they have nothing to problem solve her. See the flashes here? That's just not enough. So you see the Lion, the flash, the demos, and yet they cannot act on it. They cannot clear her. They have nades somehow, but they're not using them. And the cutoff here is just slowly moving. You see double cutoff, one from the downhole, one from the window. And you'll see still, she gets away. Not a single shot. A third cutoff here, and he dies. They had 2 guys working with stuns, and 3 guys cutting him off, and they didn't kill him. And here, they let themselves cut into a clutch. That's a thing that happens at top tier level. But overall, I expect a little bit better from these guys. It's normal. They're the best team in Europe. I want them to succeed internationally. And this kind of rounds, I think they can get away with playing a little bit better and more coordinated.
Yeah, that is that whole we always have to push it really close until we close the game is something that we'll have to talk about. And actually, it's a perfect moment for it. Let's have a chat with our winners. Likefak joins us on the show. First of all, congratulations on the win. But Likefak, why the hell do you do this to us? What have we done to you? What do you push it so hard every single game before you close it out?
Hello again, guys. Like I said yesterday, I see you tomorrow. Like I said, yeah, okay, I'm here. But why it's too close? Same reason. I think Ence have nothing to lose right now. Just lose all of their match. Beating BDS like they did the last stage was their objective, I guess. And we found solution to beat them. And a win is a win. If it's 8-7 every game, a win is a win.
Likefak, do you think you're playing anywhere close to your best Siege at the minute? You know, if you had to give yourselves, I know you're winning, but if you had to give yourselves a rating out of 10, where would you put your own performances?
My own performance or BDS performance?
The BDS performance, yes.
Oh, I think at 5, maybe. Maybe 6, because we are winning our game.
Yeah.
That's it. We don't show our best face right now.
Okay. So what was the game plan against Ence today? Like you said, they beat you in stage 1. Obviously, you wanted a little bit of revenge, obviously, with it being a French team as well. So what was the game plan against them?
I know how Ence play because it's basically my old team, and we knew that they're going to play Chalet against us 100%. So basically, we just look at their Chalet the 2 last play day. We said, okay, their Chalet stinks. They lost 2 times this stage. We are just going to play our Chalet default, and it works, I guess.
Oui, mec. I'm learning French. What can I say?
you have been for a few years now at this point. But you know, at the end of the day, like you said, a win is a win regardless of what happens. But when do you think BDS will be fully activated? Is that something we have to wait for playoffs here in EUL for that to at least see glimpses of it, or is there something else that makes that motor run?
I need to be better first in GLE if we want to be better as a team. But no, in playoff, I mean, when we are close to the wall, when it's best of 3 as well, we show a better face. And in like when we are playing international, like major, this kind of thing, we are clearly better. So if you want to see a BDS 10 on 10, you have to wait to the next major.
Hey. We hope that you get to see you there. You know, Montreal is around the corner. You have to qualify to it. And so far, like you said, the wins are wins. But Likefak, thank you very much. Congratulations on that W once more. And we'll get to see you tomorrow. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
We still have a game to go through.
Just one more.
One more. G2 takes on Team Secret after the break.